Coming up on AgweekTV, a new intermodal train ramp could be a game changer for North Dakota's specialty crop growers. Farmers save big money on grain drying costs this fall, especially compared to last year. The cattle industry looks for a legislative fix to the cattle market.
We'll take a look at how one local business diversified to fit all of your animal needs.
Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Ruck. We're here at the Gateway Farm Expo in Kearney, Nebraska, the longest running farm show in the state. More than 300 exhibitors took part in the 51st annual show. However, this event, like many, was a question mark with coronavirus numbers on the rise. So why did organizers choose to forge ahead?
Everybody knows that ag is an essential industry, and a trade show like this helps people within that industry get their jobs done so we can provide food, fiber, and fuel for the world, basically.
Burr says they were able to follow social distancing with the large venue to stay within the 25% capacity requirement. Gateway is run by a nonprofit organization which promotes agricultural education in communities across Nebraska through scholarships and donations. Cattle producers are looking for a fix to the market after the meltdown from COVID-19 and the Holcomb plant fire in Kansas. The Department of Justice is investigating both events, but in the meantime, they're working to improve competition and the amount of negotiated cash cattle traded with a legislative solution. One of the first was the 50-14 rule, which mandates packers buy at least 50% of the supply via negotiated cash instead of pulling from captive supplies, a concept many in industry support.
If we can ever get to those situations where the packer can bid on these cattle instead of just have them give them to them, then we can get a market. But there is no fat cattle market. When they need them, they give a little bit. When they don't need them, they pound us in the ground, and that's just not a market.
Proponents say this would prevent packers from reaping all the profits like they did during the height of the COVID meltdown.
I've got numbers to show that those packers were making from $500 all the way up to $2,000 a head.
NCBA is taking an unprecedented move, backing the 75% rule, which asks packers in each feeding area to reach a set negotiated cash threshold.
To have robust price discovery, they should trade roughly 22,000 cattle a week. Well, then Kansas needs to do that now, voluntarily trade 75% of that robust number. Okay, now follow along. It has to be 75% of the time.
He says quarterly analysis of negotiated cash starts January 1st for a year before NCBA would push for a legal mandate.
So if they fail a couple times, right, more than 75% of the time, that's going to be a trigger. That happens twice in a quarter, 2 quarters out of a year. That's when we're going to go, okay, we tried voluntarily, we tried your system. Now we're going to seek a legislative solution.
Another bill promotes more small packers and creates a cattle contract library to increase transparency.
But there are contracts that I don't think we know about, some of the higher dollar deals that are being done.
The one area of agreement is that more competition and negotiated cash is needed, and without intervention, the cattle industry may not survive. The high cost of feed and the wavering cattle market are forcing many cattle producers to decide against backgrounding their own calves this year. Backgrounding can be profitable when producers have surplus feed and grain prices are low. Plus, during that time, they can see how their genetics perform while promoting herd health. However, because of rising grain prices, some cattle producers have decided just to sell their calves. Livestock economist Tim Petrie says it was a tough cattle market even before corn prices rose due to drought in the western U.S., plus processing disruptions and lower restaurant demand for beef tied to COVID. But he remains optimistic.
There are better times ahead for cattle when we get the pandemic behind us. Our export demand is very good for beef and for pork. Hopefully better times next year.
Since mid-October, calf prices have also strengthened. Farmers in the Western Corn Belt are spending far less on drying grain this year than in 2019, which was marked by record harvest delays and an extremely wet crop. This year, the crop matured ahead of normal, pushed by late season heat and dryness. Plus, it dried down naturally in the field with mostly ideal harvest weather. So farmers saw much lower moisture levels on grain coming out of the field, especially corn.
We were hearing, in the late part of September into October, moisture's coming off the field at, anywhere from 22 to 14%.
Some farmers were even able to just air dry the corn. St. Aubin says this has translated into substantial cost savings on grain drying compared to the last 5 years.
My experience is talking to marketers and farmers, we're seeing, less than the 5-year average by upwards of 30 to 40%.
And compared to last year, it may be more than a 40% savings. The cost of propane is comparable to last year, even with less demand. He attributes that to more farmers contracting ahead with COVID fears and the 2019 grain drying disaster still fresh on their minds. The outlook for this winter's grain drying season is for higher demand due to La Nina, which often means colder temperatures in the Midwest. The Montana Department of Agriculture has opened a hemp marketplace. It's an online portal where hemp producers can list their products for sale and consumers can buy the products listed. The marketplace is getting positive attention from across the country. Only licensed Montana hemp producers can sell on the marketplace, but it's open to all buyers. Chris Adams, who farms near Grand Forks, North Dakota, has grown hemp for 5 years. He says the exchange is a great way to match legitimate buyers and sellers, especially since the current hemp market is unsteady.
I think it's a great idea. And the fact that the states and the Ag Department is backing it is even better. So it just adds a level of integrity to it.
The marketplace is modeled after a similar one for hay. Adams says he'd like to see a similar site in each state or on the federal level. Ahead on AgweekTV, a new rail facility in Minot will help North Dakota growers reach more markets.
You've worked your entire life for this. Through the ups and downs, you've stood strong, building a legacy to be proud of. With all good things in this world, there are still risks. It's a part of life. You need protection you can count on. We're not just here to insure your equipment, your vehicles, or your home. We're here to protect everything you've built. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
No one knows agriculture quite like Agri-Financial. With more than 500 combined years of ag experience, our ag lending experts truly understand your business. Since 1989, our mission has always been honesty, integrity, and commitment to quality service for our customers. Get started today at cgb-agfi.com.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you with a wide variety of bin options and accessories, along with site planning and superior customer service. Plus, from top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with generations of experience and dependability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
Something big is here from Valley. Valley 365. The best Valley remote management tools are now combined into this single-source, cloud-based platform. With all of your Valley irrigation solutions in one secure, easy-to-access platform, you can streamline your operation and harness the power of your data for greater profitability and a better tomorrow. The time is now to own your tomorrow.
Contact K&T Irrigation to learn more about Valley 365.
For Agweek, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts that dairy can have on the community.
A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain.
This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Welcome back. A new intermodal train ramp could be a game changer for North Dakota specialty crop growers. The Minot ramp could become a key piece of an international launching pad for exporting specialty crops from the region. Mikkel Pates has more in this week's Ag Week cover story.
It's a direct supply chain from producer to demand internationally.
Greg Oberding is the owner and CEO of Rail Modal Group, a multifaceted shipping company that operates around the U.S. He has high hopes for this new Minot site. It opened in late October and shipped its first train on October 30th.
Regionally, this location lends itself to vast majority of agricultural demand.
An intermodal depot gets shipping containers that have come from overseas and then been emptied in other cities. Instead of going back to Asia empty, RMG organizes trains of containers and brings them to Minot. RMG then loads them with commodities like lentils and peas, or ships them to other customers that do.
There's lots of opportunity here to build a direct virtual supply chain from source to demand. So we can deliver the access to the world markets and their demand to the specialty growers in this market and give them more value added for their crops and their production.
State Representative Jay Fisher of Minot says the concept had been worked on at Minot for many years, but no one had been successful. Until now. He thinks it will be great for growers.
We grow high quality crops here, and they're worth more to specialty markets. So it allows our farmers to be diversified and to get higher prices.
The interim president of the Minot Area Development Corporation agrees it's a great thing for the Minot area and the state.
This is phenomenal. It's something that the community and the state has been working on for probably a couple of decades. This means a whole bunch for the agricultural sector.
And it's not just for crops. Oberding says that they're also working with companies like Bobcat to move other products. In Minot, North Dakota, this is Mikkel Pates for Agweek.
You can read more on our cover story in the next Agweek magazine or at agweek.com. A family livestock feed business has diversified into a pet store, grooming, and boarding facility. Emily Beal explains how the backyard in Perham, Minnesota has become a one-stop shop for animal needs.
You might be surprised to find a dog being groomed at a feed store, but it's all in the family for the Dolls.
The amount of people that have pets is tremendous, and of course they all buy dog food and they become part of the family.
Joseph and Lori Dahl started J&L Nutritional Consulting in 1995 after Joseph decided to become an independent consultant.
The science and sampling the forages and what we can do, it's pretty amazing, really. And then we get an assay back from the labs, and then we incorporate that into their diet.
While formulating the right livestock feed is still a major part of their business, it has diversified, as some of the Dahl's children wanted to come home and join the business. They decided to add pet food to the mix and came up with a catchy name for that part of the business.
The backyard kind of encompassed everything we could think of. You know, you got your cats, your dogs, some livestock, a little bit of everything.
You can walk out of here feeling pretty good that you're buying the right food for your dog.
But it didn't stop with the pet food. Recently, the Dolls have added grooming, boarding, and doggy daycare.
Brings in a lot of traffic. While they're there, then they can shop for their dog too. So that was kind of the main thing about it, is we saw a lot of opportunity for that.
Because things change, and we need to change with it.
From your livestock to furry friend needs, this business is dedicated to taking care of all of them. With Agweek, I'm Emily Beal in Perham, Minnesota.
The Dolls also plan to add obedience training, although that's been stalled by the pandemic. Still ahead on AgweekTV, it's time to think about seed selections for next year. We'll have some advice for soybean growers. And later, some Thanksgiving food safety tips.
When it comes to grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems, the #1 Brock bin dealer in the U.S., is locally owned and provides turnkey convenience with factory direct product, complete design services, and in-house construction. Now's the perfect time to take advantage of discounts on Brock solid bins, grain dryers, and aeration systems. For more information, go online to gatewaybuilding.com or call 1-800-747-4499.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
Challenges. We all face them at some time. But it seems that ag has seen its fair share over the past few years. Has your farming operation been able to stand the challenges? If not, maybe it's time to talk to the risk management specialist at Martinson Ag. We can help you make the sound decisions to help your operation weather the storm. Martinson Ag, your one-stop shop for crop insurance, livestock insurance, and marketing. We are here to take your operation to the next level.
North Star Ag has a new location and a great lineup of equipment to help you work smarter this harvest season. Make the most of your time in the field this fall with the help of a Thunder Creek service trailer. We also carry innovative J&M grain carts as well as H&S beet carts to get your crop out of the field efficiently. North Star Ag is a Meridian Hopper bin dealer too. Visit our website, give us a call, or check out the new location at the Tower City exit right off I-94.
Go beyond the headlines with an Agweek membership. Get in-depth agribusiness reporting, original farm and ranch stories, and fact-based research for the most comprehensive ag news in the upper Midwest. Experienced ag journalists bring you exclusive ag news, insights, and policy updates you won't find anywhere else. Become a member today and get unlimited access to Agweek and AgweekTV.
Our weather, as you can see, has been rather mild for November. How long will we get to enjoy that trend? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
The general weather outlook across the United States over the next 2 weeks actually carries us into the start of the month of December. Don't know that this is necessarily a sign of the entire winter. We actually get in as far as December 5th here, but it looks very dry and fairly mild across most of the Great Plains, the upper Midwest, the Corn Belt, really the eastern United States. Not much storminess at all, no signs of Arctic air coming down. The only type of snow and or rain that we would be getting would be coming from mostly little showers from little clipper systems, and the next couple of weeks I'm really not seeing too much of that. We do have developing across the United States right now a split flow pattern, and that split flow will likely keep the frigid air locked up in the frigid section of the world and keep the weather relatively mild. Cold, the dark blue, that's highs below freezing. That'll of course visit the higher elevations of the Rockies, and it'll be around the Great Lakes at times, but the rest of the nation fairly mild. A lot of warm air, 70s and 80s down south, very comfortable. The really hot stuff, the 80s and 90s, are going to be in those usual hot places as we go through this week. Sometime around Thanksgiving, I do see a modest little cooling trend dropping into the northern plains and the Great Lakes, but it isn't going to be anything too radical or too extreme because we're going to keep that frigid air, really for the start of December anyway, locked up into the north. Speaking of moving on into the second week of the forecast, which does carry us on into December, early December looking very mild throughout the Great Plains, kind of chilly around Wisconsin, Michigan, the Great Lakes area, and relatively cool, 40s for, temperatures above freezing but coolish down through some of the mid-south regions as the warm air briefly drops down to the Gulf, but it does look like that warm air will be recovering. And again, as long as we maintain the split flow pattern in the jet streams, we're going to keep the really cold air away bottled up in the north. Now, as far as precipitation goes, moving ahead to Thanksgiving week, most of the Great Plains looking pretty dry. I don't see any precipitation in the yellow shaded areas unless you get a very light snow or a very light rain. It just doesn't look like much. There will be a fairly persistent area for about half the week of some scattered showers and thunder showers over the mid-south and the northeast. It's the Pacific Northwest that's going to be wet, and this is characteristic. It's very common as you get into November and December for places like Seattle and Portland to just have rain very nearly every day. Higher elevations of the Northwest will be getting snow. Most of the Great Plains look dry, and as we move into December without any major storms, nothing but scattered light precipitation really anywhere in the country east of the Rocky Mountains.
Schedule an uptime inspection for your equipment with the Case IH service professionals at your local Titan Machinery. Our Case IH certified service technicians have the training, experience, and genuine Case IH parts to ensure your equipment is ready for next season. Planting and harvesting windows are short. Have confidence in your equipment's performance with a Titan Machinery multi-point uptime inspection. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH service leader.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality stainless steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
When you think about it, productivity starts at planting. So it's time to rethink how productive your planter can be. We did with the new Case IH 2000 Series Early Riser Planter. We rethought your row unit so it's tougher, more accurate. We rethought your meter, took the most precise technology, factory installed it. We rethought every inch of the Case IH Early Riser Planter to make it the most productive planter around. And if you think about it, that's exactly what you want.
Mice are a real problem and get into everything. They leave a scent trail, bringing more mice to the party. Poisons and traps just lure mice in, leaving you with the mess and costly damage. Introducing Mouse Mix, the world's safest and most effective deterrent. The pleasant scent interferes with the mouse's sense of smell. Simply put, they can't stand it. Mouse Mix works 6 months for complete winter storage of campers, cabins, boats, cars, and farm equipment. Mouse Mix, you put it out and the mice leave.
We're going to talk today about a revolutionary auto steer product that you guys have developed.
We back one of these things in, it'll drain a 40-acre patch just within hours.
What can you tell us about what dairy farmers do to make sure that their animals are happy?
Their care is our primary concern.
Is there still time for producers to get storage bins up?
Absolutely. We still can definitely get something up and ready for corn harvest.
AgweekTV Soy Insight, brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Council.
This time of year, farmers are making their seed selections for next season. Extension agronomist Hans Condell says that the most important consideration is the maturity group, and it's important to diversify to mitigate the risk of an early frost like North Dakota had this year. The challenge in varietal selection is the vast number to choose from. In North Dakota variety trials alone, there are close to 300. On top of that, most companies release new soybean varieties every year and retire varieties annually. This makes it even more important growers pay attention to variety trial information from research and extension centers.
One of the best ways to increase the chances that you have good success with varieties is to look at variety data from more locations and, if possible, from more years. And if a variety has come up to the top of the trials consistently, it is likely that that variety will also do well in 2021. Pay attention to variety trials closest to you, talk to your neighbors, find out what they have success with, and look at multiple years if that data is available.
He says farmers also need to consider yield, disease, IDC, and soybean cyst nematode resistance. Many growers aren't even aware of the SCN resistance in the beans they're planting and that they need to rotate sources of resistance regularly. We have enough health concerns this holiday season without having to worry about food safety. Because of the pandemic, many states are recommending smaller Thanksgiving gatherings with immediate family only. That could mean people are cooking the holiday meal for the first time without mom or grandma's help. The holiday's signature dish can pose some food safety risks if not prepared and cooked properly. The USDA's Meat and Poultry Hotline is expecting a high volume of calls this year. Food safety specialists say the most important thing is to keep your hands and all food prep services clean. There's something that might surprise you. USDA no longer recommends that you wash your turkey before cooking it.
We have discovered by washing those turkey or poultry in general, you are spreading bacteria around the sink, you're spreading bacteria around your counter. And then when those participants were washing their ingredients for salads, they were contaminating those ingredients with salmonella and other bacteria that could be present.
We have detailed Thanksgiving food safety information, including a link to the toll-free Meat and Poultry Hotline at agweek.com. Still ahead on Agweek TV, we'll show you a new way of promoting soil health.
If you have a basement waterproofing or structural emergency, Safe Basements North is here to help.
Our team of basement repair professionals will find the cause of the problem and work with you to develop a permanent solution. Safe Basements North is following CDC recommendations and is here to help keep your home and family safe. For a free consultation, go to safebasementsnorth.com and take advantage of our 12-month, no-interest, no-payments offer.
I'm Jesse Treble, and peace of mind is a safe basement.
This is Dennis Beliski reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
Agweek brings you timely agriculture news from field to fork in digital, print, and television. Fresh every week, join Jenny Schlecht from the Agweek editorial team and me, Al Windmill, from the sales and marketing team for a deeper dive into farm and ranch stories, along with guest interviews with personalities from the world of agriculture. If you're involved in farming, ranching, or agribusiness, the Agweek podcast is the show for you.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
The Land Stewardship Project has come up with a catchy new way to promote soil health.
Green protector species cover, add a bit of chicory for my mother, smorgasbord for the cows to graze, pollinator paradise, telling you I've got cover crops.
The group recently commissioned Minnesota musician Brett Hessela to write and perform 2 songs. They even have videos. One is called Got Cover Crops, and the other is Back to the Soil. Doug Nopar of the Land Stewardship Project says it's a memorable way to get their message out about cover crops and soil health.
This is a way to reach people at a deeper heart level, at a more emotional level, and in a fun way too.
The music videos were shot at several farms in southeastern Minnesota. We invite you to take part in our Agweek Holiday Photo Contest. The picture must be submitted by December 7th by the person who shot it, with 1 entry per person. The submission information is on your screen. All the photos will be featured online on December 28th. The winner will be announced on AgweekTV. There will be prizes for the top 3. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Have yourself a great and safe week.